What's going on, Aquarius? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist 8. Justin here, and I hope you're ready to kick off your birthday season. Hold on, Aquarius. Bam, there it is. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support is always incredible, Aquarius, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, Aquarius, this is a special one here. This is your solar return spread, and the solar return is basically when your sun is when the sun when the sun is conjunct your natal sun, and you just kind of analyze what energies have transpired over this past year, what you've learned from that, how you've grown, and then kind of give into forecasting for the energies to come. So it's going to be a special spread here. It's actually got a lot going on there. Actually, I only got Pisces to do, and then I have a new idea of how I'm about to revamp this a little bit. But we got a lot of decks here. It's going to be really great. But Aquarius, this is special for you too because now the stage is yours. You know, Pluto's getting ready to start doing some shenanigans in your chart, interacting with, forming conjunctions with your Aquarius placements. It's going to be a very transformative period of time over these next 20 years, and it's like duh. But Pluto means that Capricorn just got through it from 2008 up until now. And granted, Pluto's going to retrograde one more time back into their sign. So especially if you have like early degrees of Aquarius, Pluto's been doing a lot in your chart, and so you've been probably feeling this for quite a bit. So, and it's just gonna be, it may be intense sometimes, but it's gonna be transformative for sure. Especially if you're an Aquarius sun, this is going to change, a lot of change coming. But I don't really have any rhyme or reason for this. We're just, let's just jump into it, Aquarius. That's what I thought I had. Actually, hold on, Aquarius. Before we get into this thing, one thing. This is a general reading, not a one-two. Let me get ahead of myself. So take what resonates with you. Leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? Now, with all that being said there, Aquarius, let's jump into it. I forgot to grab something. Actually, it's fine. Aquarius, your space has been cleansed. As this happens every time I do the solar returns, but there really is no rhyme or reason for this. Crystals. Feeling lovely. Just wonderful energy all around here, Aquarius. Now, I got like 4 decks here. This one is a special one that I pull out just for the solar returns. It's the Angel Oracle deck, and this is good. This deck represents the kind of the archangel, the consciousness that's going to be watching over you for this next year. Some energies to think about. I'm going to pull a card from this deck for essentially for each month. And if these things happen to transpire in order, definitely let me know next year. And then I'm gonna get one oracle card or one tarot card for each, and then every 4 I'm gonna get one card from this deck. There's a lot going on. It'll make sense, I promise. But before we jump into this thing, Aquarius, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with. Oh, look at that. I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching their Aquarius, so definitely check them out. Very powerful insights that they bring. Spirits. And also there's a link for a couple of astrologers that I like watching, and there's some links for some apps that I work with as well. They're Aquarius, if you want to check out your chart there, they're fantastic. I think you would enjoy them. So treasure trove down there. But let's go ahead and get into this general energy of the day. Interesting. So you have here Danielle. That's what we're going to go with, Aquarius. And I like this too. She's the 21st card here, which is the world card in the tarot deck, which is one of your rulers there, Saturn. So I like that auspicious energy there. But she is associated, the energies that are associated with her, she's got a couple symbols that I don't recognize there, Aquarius. This happens from time to time. I want to say this is just it. Looks like this. Okay, so I just want to make sure because it did look a little weird. So this energy, she represents Aries, Sagittarius, and Vulcanus, which Vulcanus is about rapid expansion and purifying fire. And this is a lot of fire energy that's coming through there, Aquarius with that Aries and the Sagittarius. But Daniel is the protector of infants and children. And this is an energy that is youthful, birth of a child. So if that's something, if we're thinking about having children there, Aquarius, that might be something to consider there. But also contagious joy, zest for life, zest for life, lightness of being, and wonder. And how exciting! And with this also, she's got a little, they all have a little phrase down here. And this card is, when you feel weighed down by life or heavy emotions, I will help you reconnect to the wonder and joy of living. And I really like that, Aquarius. We're going to get in that in a second. But also, there's some things down here to consider. A crystal that you may want to consider working with there, Aquarius, is a desert rose. And I've always kind of really thought that one was an interesting kind of crystal there. So that's something to consider. And then as far as like a time frame there, if there are things that we're thinking about, or, you know, like big things, like it says the time here, a matter of weeks. So that might be something to consider if you're waiting on some sort of big decision or anything along those lines. It could be just right around the corner. Then you got just this last little thing, just a big old yes. So, you know, the energies that I'm getting with this, Aquarius, is definitely, granted, she's the protector of infant and children, but I feel like it's that protector of that inner child for you. Well, if you're not thinking about, you know, you having a little one there, bringing a little bundle of joy into the world, I feel that it is protecting that inner child and getting into that youthful energy and filling your life with wonder again. Going out there and experiencing new things and doing things that make you feel light, you know, that bring you joy. Go maybe swing on a swing there. Aquarius, look at this. Look at her swinging on this swing. Or, you know, getting out there and just having, I feel like, bringing more fun into your life. You know, we have so many, even just thinking about with how I was talking about the world card there, Saturn. Saturn is the planet of discipline, the planet of karma, time, patience, structure. And, you know, Saturn energy can seem like it's not all that fun. And yeah, granted, he does bring growth, but I feel like even in all that growth, that doesn't mean in all that seriousness that we can't have this fun, that Aries energy, just to kind of say yes to some things. If someone's like, you know, let's try something new. Yeah, you know what, let's do that. You know, just like, I feel like this could be the year of yes. You know, it doesn't make sense, Aquarius, but, you know, a time of just like doing more kind of lighthearted things, you know, trying different stuff there. Sagittarius energy, exploring stuff, allowing this kind of inner fire to just kind of go through there and just experience as much as you can. And yeah, just go have for some fun. I'm even getting your other ruler there, like the Fool energy, just really kind of bringing in this lust for like kind of carpe diem, go seize the day, Aquarius. So I feel like that's a dope energy to have like watching over you. So absolutely enjoy this thing. But let's go ahead and get into your first oracle card here and get this energy cooking. Let's see what kind of fun you're going to be having. Because they're even thinking too, you know, with all that Pluto energy that's, you know, Plutonian energy that's going to be coming through. Again, that can be a little intense sometimes. And, you know, it can seem like that they're, you know, that it's just like life can be very serious. So, yeah, just again, just doing things that are just kind of, you know, bring some lightheartedness into your life there. I feel there's nothing ever wrong with that, Aquarius. See if I can hold this here. All right, Aquarius. Oh, I dig it. All right. So your first card here is that you have the Symphony card, which is the third card of Taurus. And this is a card of harmony, synergy, co-create, assembly, organize, structure, contribute, team, collaborate, precise, arrangement, order, lead, follow, organization, perform, display, and cohesion. And, I feel with this energy, Aquarius. Hold on, Aquarius. But I feel with this energy here that this is some, and this is considered too, these energies are just something I feel like to just kind of consider over this next year, Aquarius. And this can be a great time, I feel, for co-creation, because your energy is one of the collective of people kind of coming together there and banding as a group, this exchange of ideas, because we're getting into a very innovative time with Pluto going to be into Aquarius. There's going to be a lot of technological advances. Things are going to feel like stuff is moving there faster, and I feel like this is a time to really starting to start getting into the flow of these like these kind of changes there, because I feel like we are going to start getting into this place of banding together and getting into a more collaborative type of energy. And I feel whom better than to initiate this stuff, because I always feel like Aquarius energy is one, oh, you're the star card in the tarot, and I always feel like you are the ones that connect the constellations together in a sense, and then you take something, you help bring each individual light together to create something fantastic. And so I feel this could be, because even when you think about like Pluto and Aquarius, this could be like this change in your social structures, possibly in the people that you maybe had associated with, whether this be with your work or certain group of friends, maybe even like a family structure, and things are starting to evolve into a sense. So I feel like it's embracing how it's like finding groups that really kind of resonate with you, that really kind of, that you all kind of have in harmony. And I feel like it's also too appreciating how it's like almost, I feel like kind of even like diversifying, and not that you may not already have a diverse group there, but it's this like-minded energy, but it's like appreciating each diverse thing. Like how it'd be pretty boring if a symphony was all just playing the same note. I feel like it's appreciating the uniqueness that people bring to your groups as well, and considering how that, I don't know how that all kind of comes together there, Aquarius. And well, let me get a tarot on this. All right, I'm with it. So Aquarius, you have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And I feel that this energy is, if you have times where you feel that you are stuck throughout this year, where maybe we're having troubles getting something off the ground, I do feel like that, even if this is not necessarily partnering with people, I feel like there could be a lot of benefit from kind of exchanging ideas with people, again, bringing some sort of perspectives to the table there to maybe kind of help inspire some type of thing. You never know what happens when you get to talking with someone, and how they may bring a certain viewpoint that you hadn't thought about, and get in like how it just kind of sparks this fire. But I also even feel too that this could, if this is not for you, you could also be the one that is like getting others like kind of like sparking a fire within others if they're not doing. It could even be almost like this Six of Pentacles, this kind of this reciprocity, this give and take type of thing, because yours is one that is really does kind of think outside of the box. You really do have a very innovative mind. You see things in a very unique way, and I feel like that it's very interesting with this symphony. I feel like it's, for for example, and hopefully this music analogy kind of lands. I have a background in saxophone, and I remember my lessons teacher when he would tell me to practice or give me advice for practicing. I remember he had told me once, when I'm listening to, as far as like getting like a rich sound on the saxophone, I play tenor, and he would tell me to listen to the cello and feel like here, because they're in very similar range of each other as far as like note wise, and he would tell me, like, it's just like, you would think that he'd say listen to different saxophonists, but which of course, but it's just like the fact there's like, yeah, listen to the cello for this energy. It was like it did bring about, it helped my approach very differently. It did add it added a different kind of flavor to how I played. So, and that's what I feel like is happening right now. You kind of seasoning things, and oh, now I went from music to cooking, but you get what I'm saying there, Aquarius. I feel like there is this power in synergy there, in crowdsourcing and exchanging ideas. So, just something to keep in mind, because this is, again, this is the age that we're moving into. You know, we are getting into this where, you know, friendships, groups, and things are going to feel like be very, they're going to evolve in a sense. And how are the people around you growing? But let's get another oracle on this, Aquarius. All right, Aquarius. Ooh, all right. Keeping this Taurus train going. So you got the first card of Taurus here, which is the Emerald card. And this is very interesting too, considering that you got, we were talking about this birth of a child, because this is a card of healing, fertility, eternity, reflection, humility, sexuality, rare, peace, soul restoration, growth, strong relationship, balance, free flowing love, mature love, and heart chakra. And so I do feel, Aquarius, especially with all this sensual energy that Taurus is bringing to the mix there, if we are thinking about babies, this could be a very fantastic time for that. You know, be thinking about that kind of planning there and things along those lines. But if we're not, let's just be mindful. But I also feel that this is to Aquarius, that this can be an energy of, this can be a very kind of, I'm getting a very kind of strong healing energy, because if there's, because I feel that this Pluto energy is going to bring a lot up for you over these, even this over like the next couple of years. I feel too, even when your ruler moves into Uranus, that's going to be a very fascinating energy for you. It could be a very beneficial one for you. But I do feel like this can be a time to kind of ask yourself, you know, where are some areas that we could use some restoration there? Where can we give ourselves some love? And I even feel too, Aquarius, it's like in this healing there could, I feel like this healing could, I don't know how to put this. It's like, I do feel like this fertility is more than just children. I feel like there is this sort of like abundance of ideas. You know, like your mind is feeling very fertile in a sense. Like there's some fresh things that are coming to the mix. And this can be a time where you're kind of strengthening this relationship with yourself, as far as like building up this confidence in a sense, allowing the things that you love to kind of flow through there, and almost like kind of bring it, it's even giving me like a Ten of Pentacles type of vibe, where it's like we're kind of breathing things into eternity. You know, like what is it, that lasting thing that you want to, or that impact that you want to have, and really kind of asking, like, and it's like in doing this, you know, the growth that will come. But let me get a tarot on this, Aquarius, and get some details with this, because that's very fascinating. But I could even feel too, Aquarius, that this can be for in a sort of like relationship, that this could be, there's this strengthening that is happening here, like a deeper understanding of what each other kind of needs in a sense, you know, like this. Let me just see what's going on with this. Oh, interesting, Aquarius. So you have the Hermit in reverse. This is Virgo energy. And you know, I do feel that there, if for some, you know, just when we're talking about that healing and that soul restoration, those are the ones that really are kind of standing out to me. that there's a time when you get a moment, really kind of sit with yourself over this year. Like, one, reflect on how you've grown, and I do feel too, though, reflect on have the decisions that you've made in the past, would the present you continue to make these decisions, or what has changed in your relationship with yourself, and maybe even with others. But I do feel like there is this energy of kind of reflecting on where you've been, where you want to come, and is that thing really kind of bringing you this sense of peace? Is this are you allowing yourself to express this energy that you're having there, this, like, because Taurus energy is one, they're very excellent builders. They build this really strong foundation. They're a sign of security. And let me light my other candle here, Aquarius. So yeah, I do feel like it is just kind of just reflecting on this and doing more things for the heart chakra in a sense. But very interesting energy here, Aquarius. Let's get another one on this. Aquarius, thank you, spirits. Let's see what else we got here. Interesting. All right, we're switching up a little bit, but we're still kind of staying. Empress energies coming through there because you got another one of the signs that they wrote, the other sign that she rules, which you have the eighth card of Libra, which is the Blinders card. And this is an interesting one, Aquarius, because this is a card of victim mentality, confusion, tunnel vision, resist clarity, confirmation bias, restrictions, narrow focus, echo chamber, denial, oblivious, out of touch, hyper focus, and concentration. And I do feel with this Blinders card here, Aquarius, that if there is, because for some I feel like there is this victim mentality that is coming through there, as far as like, where I almost feel like it's like, where have we kind of felt like we've sacrificed our authority in a sense, or where we've given our power. Okay, so spirits are kind of nudging me to tell you this story. So I have some I had some trickiness in with Pluto. Speaking of Pluto, I got Pluto in the fourth house, which is the house of family, and it can be about that emotional security and things. But I used to put a lot of blame on kind of like my not necessarily on my family, but my maternal figure and I have that's a weird way to put it. My mom and I have some weird beef going on, and for the longest time did put a lot of blame towards that, not feeling like I had the tools and things. But after a while, there was a point where I'm grown, and it was one of those things that I could either keep putting this stuff and putting this blame on this thing, or I could take where, sure, there was a part that was played in that, of course, but we're all going through this human experience, and at some point it's like I needed to own my own type of things, and where I was keeping myself trapped. This gives me a very kind of Eight of Swords type of energy, and I do feel that there is this new sense of clarity of seeing where we may have maybe made where we haven't owned our responsibility in a sense there, Aquarius. And I feel like it's not something to beat yourself. It happens. And I feel like we all have that some sort of thing where we kind of feel that life has shorted us in a sense. And that's not to say that, again, that things haven't happened, but I do feel like it's just like where we may have become complacent, possibly, and where we're not owning our part in this as well. So that, I feel like, is something to think about. Now, I also feel too, just because of your sign with the sun being in Aquarius, that is technically the sun is in detriment in Aquarius because it's your opposite sign of Leo, where Leo is about this self-expression and about them. They're very much about self, and then not to say they're a selfish sign, but it is more about them, about the spotlights on them, as opposed to Aquarius is still about that individuality, but it's in a more of a collective type of scale, and there is that possibility of losing oneself in certain groups there, and kind of getting caught in the echo chamber. And so I feel like there is an energy of making sure that you don't lose yourself in, paying attention to how groups affect you. And if you notice that the message or the tune that you're playing is no longer in a key that you like, or again back to that music analogy, in a key that you like, then where do we need to join a different orchestra, in a sense? How do we change it up? How do we broaden our focus? Because I feel like for some, there is, there's this, we want to be careful about the groups, and this can even be like things that you even like follow as well, whether this be different maybe influencers or things we may follow on the news or watch on YouTube, and just like how they may keep you restricted in a sense. So, and remember, you have your consciousness, your angel that's gotten over you. She's Sagittarius in her energy, and Sagittarius is very similar to you in a sense, is that they don't like their freedom restricted. They don't consider things in this narrow scope. They want to see the big picture. So, but let's get some tarot on this, Aquarius. Get some details. And since I was talking about that Empress energy, it's just like how things may have affected your abundance in a sense, and how we may need to, as we're growing in things and maturing, we may find ourselves outgrowing a certain group there. And I feel like it's not necessarily that, thinking that we're better than, but it is realizing where something is lowering your vibration, or you're just in a different vibration, you're playing in B flat and they're playing in F, and that's not, it's not, and well, those, never mind, you get my point. Ooh, look at that, I'm with it. Love that experience. So you have the Chariot here, and with the Chariot, I do feel that Chariot is that forward motion. And I feel like if there are things that are slowing you down there, Aquarius, things that we may be out of, and I feel like this is energy too of just kind of like when we're talking about with that Hermit energy as well, as kind of looking within, where some things that we may have some blinders on, where some things that we may feel restricted, where things we might be oblivious to, as far as like internally there, maybe some sort of like confirmation, because that's even tricky energy there when you get into like confirmation bias. You're things are obviously one way, but you're calling this another thing. That's something to be, you just want to be aware of that, Aquarius, and things that we may be denying, or be in denial about. So, just paying attention to the things that prevent your forward motion, I feel like, is what this Chariot is kind of go through there. And the Chariot card is Cancer energy, and I do feel like there is this, even getting this sort of emotional understanding as well, because Aquarius energy is one that can be known, that can be a little detached from emotions, and not that you don't feel, but I feel that it is approached from a more logical standpoint, which is fine, but I do feel like it's one thing to understand it logically, but it's a whole other thing to actually feel it as well, and to understand it that way, to not just have that intellectual wisdom, but have that emotional wisdom as well. Take it from someone with their sun sign in Cancer. Stuff's important, and that stuff can really kind of slow you down if you don't get eyes on that. So just something to think about there, Aquarius. But yeah, let's get another tarot on this, or excuse me, another oracle on this. Aquarius. Thank you. Alrighty. So you have the seventh card of Gemini's, which is a convertible card. And this is a card of many options, free will, adjacent possibility, choices, flexible, adaptable, potential, change, freedom, enjoyment, two-faced, going with the wind, alternatives, and preferences. And going with the wind is really kind of sticking out there, Aquarius. And Gemini energy is one that is a very curious sign and one that is always seeking new type of knowledge there. And I feel like, you know, considering too, we were talking about that kind of go through with the flow and this energy of saying yes. You know, I feel like there is for some this energy of enjoying, bringing, and we got some enjoyment here in this energy. You know, going sometimes allowing yourself to kind of go with the flow, to kind of relax a little bit, to kind of trust in this yes, and kind of when the energies, you know, not to like force something to happen. And I feel like as you just sort of go with it. Let's say maybe you get invited out to like a group hangout, or maybe someone wants to go on a road trip, or whatever that may look like, and just see what kind of options come up there, Aquarius. But I do feel too, even with this free will, like that's another energy that's kind of sticking out there. Hmm. Because even, you know, what I'm thinking about with this free will here is that realizing that you are more in control than you think. You know, sometimes it can feel like situations may be out of our control, or but I feel like, you know, what one I'm getting a couple energies. It's like one where if things can feel out of control, so we may not, you know, be able to control sometimes some external situations that are happening, but internally we can control how we feel about them and decide the actions that we can take there, how we process these energies and what steps that we take. But also too, I just heard a very cool. I was listening to a podcast and I heard someone say a really cool quote that kind of resonated with me. Maybe this is something to think about. But they had said, I'm kind of paraphrasing, but you know, we're so used to being, you know, being in controlling and not trusting. And I feel like it's, you know, learning that, you know, the more that I feel like you try to control this life and things, the harder things seem to be. But when we learn to trust in the process, then things flow a lot easier. We start finding more adjacent possibilities to situations there. We open ourselves to be more adaptable, and just I feel like the energies do change in a sense. But let me get a tarot on this Aquarius and get some details with this convertible. All right, Aquarius. Interesting. Thank you. So you have the Six of Swords here, Aquarius. And I do feel like this energy is like moving on to new experiences. Again, like there's this again that energy that where we were talking about that yes energy. I do feel like it's leaving behind some old ways of thinking there, and I feel like this, you know, the Six of Swords is looking to this new horizon there. And I do feel for some it is remembering in, it's almost I feel like not getting lost in the decision as well. You know, there's many options because Gemini energy is one that wants to stick their hands in all the cookie jars. You know, they want to see all the things that life has to offer. They're very curious. I have a Gemini moon and it's at the 0 degree, so it's a very unadulterated potency that comes through with this Gemini energy when it comes with me. And I sometimes can be really just kind of can be all over the place. So I feel like it's not getting lost in those many options that life has to have you. And I feel like it's really, like, really kind of listening to your heart as far as seeing where and then going with the wind and seeing where this thing guides you. And I feel like it's not necessarily feeling like that you don't have, again, any kind of control over this, because you have the free will always. But I feel like it's, like allowing yourself to see what potential can bring up, and just sort of like, what, let me just go with this way. I don't know why this, but my intuition is saying this. So just kind of trusting in that, and then opening yourself up to something new here is what I kind of feel with this convertible energy. But let me go ahead and get your first oracle card from this deck here. Yeah, really, when I started doing this, like, with Aries, I was just like, it really just kind of threw this thing together, and it was a great idea in theory, but, I was like, am I doing these, like, are these cards, like, quarterly? But it's fine. Alright, Aquarius. Thank you, spirits. Huh. Interesting, Aquarius. So, again, you got the birth card here. So, I do... Again, I feel like this is a very, very fertile energy for you, Aquarius. But I just don't feel like just in babies, But I do feel like that this can be like your projects that are babies, Like something is trying to, some sort of fresh energy is coming into the mix there. Something is, I feel like, birth. I feel like this energy is this sort of like this brand new you in a sense. And I feel like, on the day that the sun is entering into Aquarius, right before Pluto and the sun are having this last conversation in Capricorn at the last degree on the last minute. And that can be a very powerful, because that's something I've even been really kind of feeling. I've noticed that there has been an intensity even in the people that I'm around, that things are shifting. There is this internal stuff, like a lot of changes are happening, and I feel like people are getting this new sense of freedom, because that's an energy that your sign brings, this sense of that anything is possible, that there's no, like, it's the future is here, the future is now. And so that's where I feel like, a lot of like, this is, I feel like, a great energy to kind of really be in this manifestation, get some things cooking up that you've been wanting to do. No longer, even with that hermit energy, I feel like that's even another thing that's coming through there, is not keeping things bottled up inside, allowing your light to shine. Let that Page of Pentacles, whatever ideas you've been wanting to do, let's get that stuff cooking up. Let's get this thing in motion, because we're going to be... Because when I feel like your ruler enters, your other ruler, Saturn, starts entering into into Aries, starting in 2025. That's going to be a different type of energy, a new, fresh spring type of energy. Saturn would have just completed his round of the Zodiac. And it takes him about 30 years to traverse through the whole zodiacal wheel. So, new stuff, Aquarius. I'm with it. But this can be very exciting for you. So, but let's get some more. Get another oracle on this. All right. Oops. Nice. Speaking of Aries, so you have the ninth card of Aries here, which is the Shield card. And this is a card of defensive, protect, support, safeguard, block, guardian, stand up for, being prepared, heroic, stronghold, security, ward off unwanted energies, be on guard, and withstand. And I feel with this energy, with all this newness that is coming through there, Aquarius, I do feel like, and not to be, listen, not to, I feel like to be paranoid or anything, but I feel like it is making sure that you are protecting your energies, being aware of things, of groups, of environments that may not feel harmonious to you, things that may bring about this energy of confusion that sort of blur these lines in a sense, because one of your rulers, Saturn, is in Pisces right now and will be over in Pisces over this again over this next year. And Pisces sometimes has trouble with boundaries because Neptune, one of their rulers, tends to dissolve those boundaries. And so I feel like that's something we want to be aware of, how others can affect our energies in there, and just making sure that we are, if you notice some things that just feel out of character to you, maybe writing this stuff down there. And I even had heard something too that I really kind of liked, and not even just in like journaling, even maybe sometimes reading that stuff out loud to kind of hear even what vibration your thoughts are in. And it's just like, whoa. If something just like that's not me, like I feel like just being mindful of that in a sense. And I do feel like it is being prepared to whatever this new thing that's starting up. I feel like it's being aware of kind of like blocking off. It's one thing I feel like it's giving me almost like a Seven of Wands type of energy, that if we have these ideas and people, if they tend to criticize them, it's one thing if someone provides constructive criticism, where it's just like, oh, I'm with it, but had you considered this, and they had you, there's these options with this type of thing, as opposed to, oh no, Aquarius, like that'll never work, that it's this and that, like that's ridiculous. Because the story, with the water bearer, your sign, is that this village, and I'd heard this on I've been listening to a lot of podcasts here lately, Aquarius, and they were explaining this story, and I kind of liked it, where it's like, there's this village that used to just always go down to the river to do all of their things. And somebody one day, which the water bearer was just like, one day it's like, I'm gonna find a way to bring the water to us. And people thought it was ridiculous until they built the base, that holds the water, you water bearer. And then they brought it back, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you're a genius. And the guy was, well, and this wasn't part of the story, but the guy's like, duh. And so I feel that it is remembering, Aquarius, even with these ideas, you are, I feel like, especially when you have a specialty, or you find that niche thing that you really like, Aquarius is ahead of their time. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to the collective at the time. The airplane didn't make sense to anyone at the time. A boat didn't make sense to anyone at this time, until someone was brave enough to do it and make it happen, birthing that idea. If we didn't have those innovators, those ones that were to pursue this stuff, then we'd just be stagnant. We'd just be kind of stuck and doing the same old stuff. There'd be no sort of change there. Who's gonna invent the wheel? Who's, like those types of questions there, Aquarius. So, but let's get a tarot on this. And I do feel too, with that support, it's finding others who do, it's like even got like a Six of Wands energy, finding those who do support you in what you do. And even if it may not make sense to them, they may just be like, okay, like, I'm with it. Like that's a little out of left field there, but why not? Again, year of yes. I'm so with that. But Aquarius, you got the Queen of Wands in reverse. And the Queen of Wands is, I feel like the Queen of Wands is feeling a little nervous. She's feeling, it's an interesting place for her to be. But the Queen of Wands she's fearless. She's the type, that's Aries energy for me. She's the type that does first and asks questions later. She's the type that follows her heart. If something is speaking to her, she's just like, bet, let's do this. Let's make this happen. I feel like you are going to have to stand up for whatever this thing is. There may be some resistance to your, whatever this is that you're birthing, or maybe you want to start a family. People are like, why would you start a family during this time there? And it's like, because I'm about to, oh, hold on, let me be mindful. Yeah, you know what, F it. You know, like you might be just like, you know, like I'm about to birth next Jesus. But you get where I'm saying at, Aquarius. We're just really just kind of go for it. You know, but but that's why I feel like it's this Queen of Wands is saying like really kind of go for it. You know, be heroic. Be the type that and just be ready for some opinions. You know, we're not going to be able to please everyone. You know, let's go back to your symphony. You may want to, they're all about classical, but you know, you're like, let's try reggae piece. You know, let's try some country, let's try some new age. And that may not make sense at first, but it's just like, you know, an orchestra playing oh, whatever, sort of insert song here that doesn't make sense for an orchestra. Who knows what new things may pop up with that, Aquarius. So that's why I feel this Queen of Wands is being bold, being assertive, and you know, trusting that intuition and knowing that things will come together in the end there. So I'm with it. Let's get some more on this. I don't know how many times I can reiterate this, Aquarius. Thank you very much, spirits. But you got the fourth card of Leo cards here, which is the family card. And you know, even just thinking about the Chariot, Cancer energy deals with family as well. But this is a card of loyalty, faithful, allegiance, parents, children, siblings, fidelity, commitment, trust, affection, support systems, origins, tribe, dependable, sincere, and kindred spirits. And so, I guess Spirit just wants a reminder. I do. I have Aquarius. I just feel like it's, you know, there's a lot of fertile energy here. You know, again with that, you know, this is something that you've been on the fence about, but I feel for some that maybe this could even be like kind of thinking about where the future maybe of your legacy is going in a sense. You know, like what are we leaving behind for our families possibly? You know, let's broaden this a little bit. This could be where we're, you know, I think I would have mentioned talking about Ten of Pentacles, and maybe for some we're trying to think about how we're going to build up this, take this idea in a sense, and build up this kind of this generational wealth possibly here. You know, bringing whatever that's looking like. You know, maybe we're feeling a lot of this pressure and what that means, and I feel like that's where we're really kind of standing up and that what is this card, the shield card. That's where I feel like a lot of that strength is going to need to be into play there, because we are in a time where things are changing. Security has been, your other ruler Uranus has been doing some shenanigans, kind of changing up things, and now that Pluto and Uranus are sort of like, Pluto's taking charge now, and when it was Saturn kind of co-piloting this, now granted Saturn's still kind of in the mix because they rule your sign, but now that Uranian energy is more so taking a side seat, and Saturn's just, I feel like, more so kind of like he's just kind of kicking it in kicking it with the pilots. He's just sort of watching, but we don't know what Saturn's doing. But what Pluto and Uranus are doing are bringing revolutions. They're bringing change there, and I feel like that this is a time, if you've been thinking about that, like kind of asking yourself these bigger types of questions there, not letting that overwhelm you, but just, you know, just thinking about these deeper types of things there, kind of really sort of being more intentional with what we're doing, you know, realizing that we have, you know, a finite amount of time in this experience. So it's like making the most of this, you know, living with this energy of, you know, I'm doing this thing, like let this be your motivation in the sense, this whatever this family, this doesn't even maybe have to be, you know, like a traditional family. This could be, you know, maybe like your friend groups or whatever that may be look like, whomever you associate with as your soul tribe. And I do feel too, that that could be a very important type of things there if we haven't found that, like kind of looking for that type of establishment there, finding these people that do lift you up, and that you lift, like everyone is, I feel like, working together to move that chariot forward in a sense. When you break down, they're pulling over with you. All right, what's going on there? Like kind of checking in. So very interesting energy there, Aquarius, but let's get get a tarot on this. All right, Aquarius. Thank you, spirits. So you have the Five of Cups in reverse here. And with this Five of Cups being here, I feel like for some, if we've been maybe kind of disappointed with where our support systems have been, or maybe we feel like we don't have that loyalty or that dependability, or maybe there's even this lack of affection or not feeling as kindred anymore. It's just like, I feel like it's exploring that emotion a little bit. It's just like, why is that? What has caused this sort of like this disruption there? Because I feel like that, when we're talking about those blinders earlier, that victim mentality that came through, maybe there's something here where, there was like a disappointment that happened, because that's the Five of Cups, can be this card of disappointments, or there's just a lot of emotional energy there that's coming through with that. And maybe there's something we haven't processed. And, that with these changes here, I almost feel like that there's getting this energy of this closure in a sense, before we're, I don't know, it's like before we're moving on, or maybe we even had sort of like I'm even kind of feeling like a Ten of Swords there, where maybe this loyalty had been tested, or that there's like, I don't know, like maybe there was this infidelity, maybe possibly now we're kind of, and that might even be something too there, Aquarius. Like, even if this could have been like a relationship, maybe where like a family kind of had broken up in a sense. Maybe there had been a divorce, possibly even, or maybe we were at odds with like our actual family. We have this dream, we're trying to start something here, but maybe there's not that support, or whatever that's looking like. And I feel like it's just like, how do we find, what does this new soul tribe kind of look like in a sense? But I do feel like in order to do that, that there is some closure that's needing to be happen. And if this is not where we can have this conversation possibly, then this feels like that is just like, how do we sit with this hermit energy and reflect? Like, how do we learn to let that go, and learn to allow that energy to heal, even when we're talking about that in that Emerald card. And maybe even understand too in this energies that sometimes, that, because I don't like to think that, because there's someone I'm just thinking about someone I know who just says like a lot of stuff like, oh, people won't change, they can't change. And it's just like, absolutely people can change, but I feel like they have to choose to change. That I do agree, as far as like, but to say that someone can't, I feel like keeps them in a box, and keeps the growth of them from growing. And I feel like when we keep them from growing, how we feel about others is kind of how we feel about ourselves. If we think that they can't change, so what makes me think that we can change as well? It's a lot that's coming through here with this energy there, Aquarius. But, and I do feel like it's kind of sitting with that, and if we can't have this conversation, how do we bring this sense of peace over that we're not dragging on this extra weight on our chariot in a sense, and in our Six of Swords there. But I'm with it. Fascinating. But let's get some more. And again, Pluto in Aquarius is brings a lot of that. It brings these, it brings some things, some dark things up from, because we got a taste of that earlier in 2023 when he first moved into Aquarius back in March. And so so it's just like, it's only natural that things change and that we may outgrow some groups, or we may just even need to take like some temporary time apart, and who knows, the universe tends to bring things back together. But now you got the seventh card of Leo's here, Aquarius, which is the Declarations card. And this is a card of defiance, reclaiming power, sovereignty, contract, resolve, expressing truth, manifesto, self-rule, liberty or death, rules of the game, protesting, and challenging the status quo. And even though this is Leo's card, I do feel a lot of your energy in this when it comes to that, almost like that rebelliousness, the challenging the status quo, to not be in this sort of box type of energy, to not to go along with the flock. And I hope you know what I mean by that. We're not referring to everyone as sheep, but I do feel that there is, even though we have our parts to play in the symphony, I do feel like it's not limiting yourself as a soloist, because there is, even in like symphonies, there is that one that has their strength. The flute has their solo, the violin has their solo, and I feel like this is you having your solo. This is you reclaiming your power. If you feel like you've kind of surrendered this thing, maybe we've been restricted by groups, maybe this could be in work, maybe this could be by family, maybe this can be by friends, and it may not have been like an intentional type of things, but now it's time to, I feel like, sign a new contract with yourself there and express your truth. And if something doesn't feel right, I feel like there's this, because again, something I feel like is evolving in you, and I feel like this Pluto energy does have a lot to deal with that, because Pluto is this sense of power, this sense of authority. Pluto's a force. They may have demoted him as a planet, but he don't care. He's still like, okay, call me what you will, but bet you're gonna change. And those are the rules of the game, and change is inevitable. It's one of those things that has to happen. And I feel like we can protest it all we want. We can resist this stuff, but it just makes this life harder. But now I feel like this is you coming with a different sense of resolve there. And if we've been in this kind of where we've been Queen of Wands in reverse, not feeling that confidence, it's a time to ask ourselves, why is that? And in this stuff, again, even though this can be a lot of serious energy here, I feel like with what I call her, Danielle, we're rolling with that. I feel like we can still, I feel like in reclaiming this power, this does reinvigorate you there. It makes your being feel lighter, because now we are expressing our truth, and you've been holding something back. I feel like this is a time to release that, to let loose and not worry about what other people think. And I don't feel like it's necessarily like it's different than, I feel like, just like completely disregarding others or things along those lines. It's just really living your truth there, Aquarius, does that make sense? But let me get a tarot on this, because Leo is one that shines bright. Leo is one that, yeah, let me see what's going on here. I'm with it. Absolutely. Because you have the Eight of Swords here, Aquarius, in reverse. And I like that, because now that's you getting out of your head, getting out of any sort of like getting out of any sort of like self-imposed prisons. We may have been keeping ourselves in this box, and Aquarius doesn't do well in a box. Aquarius destroys the box and then builds a rocket ship, or it makes a boat, or it makes a chariot, or or whatever it's doing. It's spectacular. It's innovative. It's future thinking. It's eccentric, and I feel like that it's something that it betters a collective. That's what I feel like too, because I feel like Aquarius is one that reminds us that we can, when we allow ourselves that individuality, it all that can do is not just help us, but it's going to, I feel like it just betters the world in a sense, because now everyone is like allowing themselves to feel inspired, allowing themselves to feel free, you know. But yeah, and I just feel like it's too like how I was talking about which card was I don't remember which card I was talking about it in, but it's just like where we were talking about as far as like, you know, reclaiming that sense of authority, that sense of power. But I'm with it. I like this. I like where this is going, Aquarius. This is, I feel this is a cool energy to kind of reflect on this year. Let's get a little bit more, and then we'll get that next oracle card there. Because your season is starting off really big. I don't know if I mentioned either that your Uranus is going to be waking up soon. You know, Uranus is going to be going direct on the 27th, and then all the planets are going to be direct, and then the energy is going to be really great energy to get moving there until April, I want to say, and then Mercury does their first retrograde of the new calendar year, but. Let's see what else is going on here. Ooh, interesting. All right, so you have the 8th card of Cancers here, which is the Well card. And this is a card of deeper meaning, community, hidden emotions, nourishing, social resources, true feeling, support, savings, perception, sustenance, looking deeper, provided for, and consciousness. In that looking deeper, that deeper meaning, this hidden emotions are starting to come in there. I do feel that there is this kind of looking within yourself, Aquarius, and I feel like it's asking yourself, you know, are you doing things, I feel like, that fill up your well? It's giving me very Ace of Cups type of energy where, you know, if we are we feeling fulfilled in what we're doing and finding, I feel too, a deeper meaning to our purpose in life there. You know, are we keeping some things hidden? Are we allowing ourselves to express ourselves or express these true feelings that we have inside? You know, maybe you've been in like this accountant role, but you want to join a symphony, or maybe you've been in a symphony, you want to become a mechanic, or, and I mean, that may sound wild, but it's just like, if that's your calling, then that's your calling. But I do feel too that there is this, I don't know, I feel like it's like finding these people that do, like, because there's that social resources and support. I do feel like it's finding people that again, not just lift you up, but also that you feel like you want to lift up as well, where you want to kind of, you know, pursue and kind of birth these new ideas together in a sense, you know, kind of pulling these, again, exchanging ideas. It's not even necessarily like partnering up as far as like, let's say, for a business or anything like that, or, but just even just like exchanging thoughts and things, you know, like considering other perspectives. And and I feel like it's too, like, it's doing things that sustain you as well, that just like, it's, I don't know, it's like it's tapping into this wellspring into a sense, even there, Aquarius. A lot kind of flowing through here. Let me get a tarot on this. Okay, spirits. Let's see what's going on with that. Absolutely. Huh. You got the Ten of Cups in reverse here, Aquarius. And I feel that this is asking you, one, you know, is this energy of where things are at right now, is this actually what you wished for? Is these where your true feelings there? And if not, I feel like, what can we do to nourish that dream? You know, what things do we need to change? What are some things we may need to heal? Some things we may need to let go? Some things we need to reflect on? You know, what some, maybe some, even some new places that we maybe move into a new environment, whatever that's looking like. But also here too, you know, the Ten of Cups can be this card of family, and you know what, and again, however you describe family, And if things feel fractured in a sense, maybe you don't like what is being contributed into your well or being contributed into those resources, I feel like there is this energy of making sure that we're putting up these boundaries in a sense. We may not necessarily be cutting people off, but it's just like, like just I feel like it's putting this space in between for some there and allowing just like, what, like this is, or maybe, and this might even be a tough conversation that we need to have, but it's just like, as of right now, I'm not feeling this vibration, like maybe we'll, and but I feel like too, even just like there's this looking deeper again, like there's this understanding as far as like why there is this dissonance, what maybe had gotten into this thing that like may have kind of how that happened, how this well may have gotten tainted in a sense. So but let me get your other oracle card from this deck and see what else we got going on here, Aquarius. Okay. Oh, absolutely. So you got the blessed card here, Aquarius. And I do feel like in all this energy here, I do feel like there, even if things have been feeling a little, we were talking about this disappointment earlier, or this needing to put up these boundaries and things. I do feel like because even with all these challenges, that can feel a little tough. I do feel like it is remembering that you are always blessed there, Aquarius, and that there, when things are clearing out in a sense and maybe these voids are being made, that new things, know that new blessings are coming their way, where stuff may be ending, new things are also beginning as well. The universe is bringing in this kind of fresh energy in a sense, and we may not see these blessings immediately, but I do feel like it is knowing that this energy is coming, and that it's to keep that hope and to keep that faith that you are being divinely protected, you're being divinely guided, and things happen in that kind of divine timing. So I look at all this divine energy. So I like that, Aquarius. All right, let's get these last few oracle cards here, so I can get you out of here, starting up this new stuff. Aquarius, just a little sidebar, I feel like, with the family, because I feel, and this is kind of a touchier one, I feel like if we do have, maybe troubles, maybe conceiving a family, possibly, that that there is this energy of, and I know it's not the same, but it could be considering like, maybe thinking about like adoption possibly, or just like some sort of like, I don't know, just keeping just an energy that kind of came through there. So just kind of take it as it resonates. But you got the fifth card of Aries here, Aquarius, which is slingshot card. And with this card, this is a card of tension, strain, sudden, anxiety, pressure, launch, stressed, pull, set in motion, focus, begin, force, change, pulled in opposite directions, ready, aim, and fire. And I do feel that there is, with all this stuff, this new kind of fresh energy there may feel like there's this pressure to start something new. It might feel this anxiety, this stress type of energy. Maybe that you're feeling like you're getting pulled in every different type of direction there. But I feel like it is being mindful about kind of taking on more than you can chew, but to try not to let the anxiety and the stress keep you. I feel like it's finding different practices to deal with this stress. When you find yourself under this pressure there, what's causing this pressure? Being inquisitive with that energy and allowing yourself to. And I feel like if you're like being pulled into different directions, because when we're talking about that Gemini energy, as far as like putting your hands in a bunch of pots, You know, I feel like it is, you know, not spreading yourself too thin. It's like to have, like, I'm getting like a Knight of Swords, like one of your cards is having that focus there, starting one thing off, and then kind of or getting, you know, one thing set in motion there, Chariot, and then kind of building off these things naturally as these make sense, you know, as your intuition is just like, okay, now we got this thing going, flowing smooth there. Let's add a little extra on this card there. Let's add a little bit this more, because I feel when we feel that stress and anxiety is just because like we're doing too much, you know, and it's not to say that you know, or I feel like we want to get there just fast because, you know, maybe we're afraid that it's like, I don't know, like something is going to go away there, or that's one thing. But I do feel like too that there is something like this pressure that is building inside, and I feel like that's because, you know, we've been keeping like the either like this idea, this like Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands has been in reverse, where we've been, yeah, just been keeping something bottled up, and now it's time to let this thing loose, you know, to really kind of set stuff in motions, to launch that new project, to start this new thing, to, you know, begin whatever this thing is going to, really kind of ready, aim, and then fire, you know, get this thing off the ground there, be bold, be assertive. Queen of Wands upright. But get a tarot on this. Interesting. Alright, Aquarius. So you have the Strength card in reverse here. And I feel with this energy, Leo energy, your opposite sign, I feel like that this is the energy of whatever this is that you want to start up. You know, we may have these, again, this anxiety, this stress, you know, may feel about it, but I do feel like not letting that deter your confidence. You know, I feel like this is an energy, like, because I feel like that feeling of stress is not going to go away, because there's something that's wanting to be fulfilled in you. You know, your you know, your soul is trying to take you to this one energy that I'm kind of even picturing like this north node energy, where it's like, you know, your calling, where your spirits feel guided to. It's a little different from like your midheaven, which deals with your career and things. This deals with like, you know, what you feel like you are meant to learn here on this go round. You know, what your soul wants to set into motion. And I feel that this energy is you kind of finding your strength in this, and as you get more comfortable doing this, you know, maybe something new, something fresh, you know, we may be a beginner at it, but we've all been a beginner at some point in time there, Aquarius. And you only get better at it by doing it. And so I feel like this energy is, you know, just doing it and knowing that you're going to, Queen of Wands, figure this thing out as you go. So, and not to restrict that creative energy there, because I feel like that creates regrets and disappointments down the line there, when we were talking about the Five of Cups earlier. So let's get another oracle on this. Alright, ooh, and look at that, one of your cards. I'm with it. Alright, so you got the fourth card of you, which is the Corset card. And this is a card of held together, boundaries, restrictions, prim and proper, following rules, structured, button up, perfect posture, holding it together, support, shapeshift, and people pleaser. And that's interesting. the people pleaser energy is coming through here, Aquarius, and I feel like it's being aware of, I feel like what our intentions are. You know, are we doing things because we want to fit in this certain type of box there? You know, our family has a certain expectations, our job has a certain expectation. Listen, with the job thing, I would never tell you to quit your job or anything like that. But I feel like if we're just doing things for others, but we're not doing things that fulfill us, it just keeps us restricted. You know, I feel like it's I feel like this energy is getting out of this, you know, maybe I feel like it's being a little more rebellious against life in a sense. You know, I feel like maybe for some we have been living this sort of like prim proper, kind of been doing things by the book, following the rules, you know, very kind of Capricorn energy, being traditional in what we're doing. And there's nothing against Capricorn. They're the achievers of the Zodiac. You know, they like structure, they like these things, but Capricorn energy sets that foundation, but Aquarius comes through and kind of analyzes what Capricorn has built, and it's just like, okay, I like this overall, but this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change. And it's like, because your energy is not change just for the sake of change, it's change for the sake of betterment, for innovation, for future things. And you know, now I feel like it's, you know, I feel like we've been, and I feel like if we keep this stuff kind of bottled up and keep ourselves kind of aired up there, Aquarius, you know, things start to feel tight. You know, it starts to feel like a corset where it's like, you know, you pull and pull and pull and it gets harder to breathe. And now I feel like it's cutting the corset off and allowing this energy to kind of fall apart in the sense, you know, to kind of maybe remove some sort of like boundaries that we may have been put up. And I don't mean just like from like people. I more so feel like it's like this barrier that we may have kind of put up for ourselves, and knocking that down, like that eight of swords energy, and just, yeah, just really kind of going for it in a sense. But let me get some and see how this, and just thinking of that shape shift, see how that does change you there, Chris. I love that Knight of Wands landing right on this energy, because thanks, spirits. Knight of Wands, he's the type that follows his heart. He's not going to be restricted by anything. He's just going to go. He's going to go for it. He's going to go wild. And I feel like that's kind of what this energy is, sort of like this going wild type of energy, setting things into motion, having the confidence there, Aquarius, seeing what happens and seeing how much fun you can have with that as well. You know, when now we can finally breathe a little bit easier too, you know, is what I feel like is kind of going on with this. So I dig it. These are some cool things I feel like to kind of ask yourself, Aquarius, and I feel like this can really, again, not just inspire, you know, just get you inspired, but I feel like it gets others inspired as well. But let's get another one on this. Whew. And look at this, Aquarius. You got the 6th card of Geminis here, which is the train card. A lot of traveling energy here with your convertible, your chariot, your boat here, this train. And this is a card of moving on, life's journey, new endeavor, going away, one direction, on track, focus, on time, keep going forward. Another energy of going with the flow. Well, this one was going with the wind, but same thing. Inflexible, steady climb, and no resistance. Hell, let's not be inflexible, Aquarius. You know, but I do feel, because this definitely gives me chariot energy, which I do feel like that things, there is this, again, this, you got all this birthing energy here. And I do feel like that it is like, I feel like it's you seeing life in a different type of lens there. You know, there was a point where I made a pretty big decision, and I felt like at the moment in time I just needed to kind of blow things up. You know, just kind of really shake up my foundation, remove my structure. And not that there was anything wrong with the structure that was around me, but there was something going on with me personally that just wasn't working, you know, and I was just sort of just in, it's not, I don't know, there's something different. But as soon as I made this move, there was like, for like at least a good, before I need to kind of settle down and get things kind of figured out there, there was this moment of like a good couple of weeks where I was just seeing life in this new type of lens again. It was just like the color had been brought back to the world again. Like I was hearing things differently and getting lost in the moment. Just like walking down a street that I always had walked down, like just had this different sort of vibe to it. And that's what I feel like is happening there. We've been going this one direction, but now it's time to it's keeping going forward, but like something is like the train tracks are shifting, and that's where I feel like where it's like we were going one direction, it's like life is trying to shift us into another direction, and to not resist this change but to understand and question it, be curious about it, and seeing where that's taking you in a sense. But yeah, let me get some tarot on this, because maybe this again, we might be moving away from, this might be kind of flying the nest in a sense. Oh, but but Aquarius, you have the Nine of Swords in reverse, and I like this. And I love that because these cards here, the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, these are Gemini's cards, and Gemini's cards in the Minor Arcana are a little intense, but I feel like they do remind us of the duality of life, considering that they're the twins. And it's like we can either be afraid of where this future is going to lead us, we can feel this anxiety, where we were talking about earlier, this pressure, this fear, or we can still feel this fear but do it anyway and see where it takes you. Use that fear as fuel, because fear is just false experiences appearing real. And I feel like that, things are on track. Things are meant to happen a certain way things are happening the way that they need to happen. There's no coincidences, like there's no accidents, I feel like, in life. Because sometimes I feel like, like we can feel like we made a wrong decision, but no, you made that decision because you needed that lesson in that moment. It's just like, what do we do with that lesson? I feel like is going on there. And I feel like as we go through this stuff, because the fear and the anxiety and stuff, I feel like it's never going to go away because that stuff pushes us. But I don't feel like that's not meant to keep you where you're disheartened. It's meant to keep this motivator where it's just like you just get better at handling it, and learning where it's just like, okay, I'm feeling this thing, but I know that this isn't going to be permanent, that things are going to change, and that, yeah, I like this, Aquarius. Let's get your last card and see what's going on here. Yeah, I feel like everything is right on track. Things are right on time. And, it's... Yeah, the things are just... I feel like it's that keeping it moving with that Chariot energy. That's one of my favorite things about the Chariot. Keep that process going, but... Alright, Aquarius. Makes sense. Alright, last little bit here. Interesting. So you have the third card of Libras here, which is the Cabin card. And this is a card of lonely, confined, detached, remote, secluded, go within, insulate, disengage, close off, kept apart, quarantine, island, segregate, separated, divide, disconnected, and sequestered. And for some, I feel that there is this energy of I feel like we may have been kind of cooped up maybe for a little bit, especially when we kind of going back to that Hermit being in reverse. And I feel like there's this need to kind of like get out there. I feel like we've been maybe in this sort of like, I almost feel like it's just like that it's like maybe you've been in this sort of like reflecting on, should I do this thing, should I make this move, should I do whatever this stuff, and we've been sort of like isolating, going within. But now again, I feel like it's this energy of, it's like going out there, like not allowing ourselves to be kept on this island in a sense, and like that we're doing things by ourselves. I feel like maybe we've been a little disengaged, or we've just like segregated ourselves or disconnected ourselves in some type of way, but it's like it's getting reconnected with something. Like, let me get some tarot, get a tarot on this and get some details with that. Or like there's a part of us we've been kind of closed off from, and now it's a time to let that part out, in a sense. Like it's interesting. All right, thanks, spirits. All right, so you have the Eight of Pentacles in upright here. And I feel that there's, I don't know, it's just like we've been kind of working on something here for a while, but now it's a time. I feel like there's a time to just kind of it's getting out there, in a sense, Aquarius. Like something I feel like is, because it's not, yeah, yeah, I really don't know how else to put this. Like there's this. I feel like we've been maybe just been on this kind of remote thing for a while, keeping some sort of idea bottled up, maybe not feeling this confidence, or we've been sort of like in this trial run for a while, but now it's showtime. Is where I feel like it's going on there. You've rehearsed this thing, you've gone over this part over and over again, and this is the time to really kind of start playing the part, to allow this new idea to kind of come to life, and whatever that's looking like for you. But let me get your last oracle card here, and we'll get moving on here, Aquarius, because I was like kind of looking, I was like, I'm gonna keep you for a little bit, but got a lot of big stuff on the horizon here. Thanks, spirits. I dig it. So you got the Align card here, Aquarius. And let's switch back over. Because I feel with this Align card here that this is you aligning with your true calling. This is checking in all three, body, mind, and spirit. And if we're not sure where things are going, absolutely take some time with this Cabin card, sit alone, sit with these thoughts, get in alignment there. But I feel like this energy is like I just find that it's interesting that it's this timepiece, because I feel like, and not that there is this pressure, I feel like don't force this thing, but I am getting an energy of, this is more so I feel like this is you and like your internal clock, knowing that like time's a ticking, like the future is now. This is the time to, if you've been having these sort of like reoccurring thoughts, or maybe even like dreams or flashes, or maybe you've even noticed like different billboards or different messages from things that you've watched, or whatever that's looking like. It's just like, it's like it feels like that it's time with this energy, and then it's time to get to work, because this is the Eight of Pentacles, is the sun in Virgo. And Virgo is, it's like taking something and getting this into this routine there, switching up how we've been doing things. And excuse me. But yeah, I feel like that's something to think about there. Quite a lot, I feel like, to think about, Aquarius, over this next year there. But I feel like this is one that can be very, very exciting for you. A lot of growth, I feel like, can come from this. So I think I'm gonna leave that there, Aquarius. A little something to ponder. But if you like that, Aquarius, if you feel like anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Aquarius, because absolutely, I feel like this is, again, this is your time. We're in the age of Aquarius. Pluto's moving in there, because Pluto doesn't move signs that often. He takes anywhere from 12 to 30 years to move through a sign. He's gonna take a sweet 20 in your energies there. And so I feel like this next year, it's like I've been feeling this with the Soul Tribe too. This is the year to set that foundation, to set the intention, because I feel 2025 is going to be kind of wild. I don't know quite what that means. How it's going to depend on what we do with that energy. I feel like it's one where it doesn't have to be this fearful thing. It can be something that is really exciting, something that, yes, is going to take work, but it can be really cool, and where we're aligning with what we actually want there, following our dreams. Strength card having this confidence, but share this, Aquarius. Let's get you all going. Tapping into that potential. I'm with it. And subscribe there, you chariot. Hit that bell button. You get notified and release videos each week. And speaking of the chariot, and then think too, Aquarius. But with you got the. I'll talk about that in your weekly one, but you got the hottest ticket, Aquarius, to come over to my other channel. Not that you need it, but if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Chariot and Friends. It's a Cancer exclusive channel. Like I mentioned, my sun signs in Cancer, but it's a channel where I discuss lunar shenanigans. I do tarot card spreads based on what sign she's in, what phase she's in. It's a great old time, Aquarius, and this could be a great energy too. Working with each new moon, setting those intentions, but all that housekeeping, Aquarius, is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here, Aquarius. And you got the Four of Cups here. And I feel that if life has been just not feeling exciting, or has been where you've been feeling just sort of meh, like that there's been nothing that's been going on here, this is a time. It's time to be that change. I feel like the Four of Cups is almost like it's like waiting for the universe to do something. It's like, universe, when is something going to change? And I feel like that's the universe kind of speaking through you. I don't know, Aquarius, when do you want stuff to change? Eight Pentacles, it's time, baby. It's time to get things moving, because you got so many cards that are about this motion energy. So just something to think about. And the Four of Cups too can be this card of, it's just like, you want all this change, but it's just like, yeah, what are we doing about it? It's like we can wish all we want, but wishing is only half the battle. Being in that energy, sure, but then we have to take action. We have to make these dreams manifest, and that's what Saturn is asking you to do. Your traditional ruler. He wants you to take your dreams and make them manifest. Take this nebulous energy that Neptune has been in and give it form, give it structure. Birth these new ideas. So, let's get your other tarot card, or the other oracle card here. Let's get you manifesting. Yeah, enjoyed this energy, Aquarius. This is a nice little, I feel this is a nice little way to kick off your birthday season. Coming in strong, coming in hot. Alrighty. Spirits. Absolutely, Aquarius. You got the Eye card here. Protection was one thing that I got with this. This is that evil eye. Just like be mindful of your energies, be mindful of people who may be trying to keep you down, be mindful of environments that may be keeping you down there. But I do feel like it's what are you seeing with your mind's eye. You're in a very intuitive energy. You got one ruler that's in this intuitive energy of Pisces. You're connecting to source, and then it's taking those ideas, because you got another ruler and he's getting ready to wake up. And if you've been feeling kind of stagnant there, Aquarius, now that Uranus is waking up, this could be a perfect time to get things moving, because he's in a building energy in Taurus. This is a time to, like I was saying, Saturn wants you to give this energy form, so he's providing that intuitive downloads, and Uranus is giving you the tools to build and manifest that. So I feel like it's taking what you're seeing, taking these visions, these ideas, and we want to see it too, Aquarius. Stop being selfish. So I'm with I like that. I think I'm gonna leave that there, Aquarius. I feel that's a nice way to end. So you stay safe out there, Aquarius. with wherever life is taking you, because I feel like this can be a really, really fulfilling start for you, really kind of setting things in motions. 10 of Cups, making that wish come true. Just because it's in reverse, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It's just like it's making it clearer, and then being intentional and raising that vibration through the roof, raising the soul tribe's vibration, because that's dope what you got coming through here. And I will catch you on the next one. Depending on when you watch this, Aquarius, I got 2 videos coming out for you today, so I'll catch you literally in like a few hours.